It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports. And we'll get a look here at Josh Allen. After his last game, now across 3,000 yards for the season. It's the Bills and the Jets on Thursday night.
Here's the kicker, Jake Elliott, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from MetLife Stadium. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. And they will be led out by their rookie quarterback.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
Gotta like that start. 14 yards to get him going.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
On first down, right back to Hall. Taken down at the 42. We're taking a look at Hall's numbers from a week ago. 17 carries, 71 yards.
Well, obviously he didn't have a great deal of time between games, having to turn around on a short week and get ready for Thursday night football. But he said in pregame he was feeling pretty good and felt more recovered from last week's contest than he would have expected. Didn't seem to think this short week was going to affect him much as he chases a big performance here in prime time.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And a completion to Wilson. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Kind of an odd schedule this year. These two teams getting their 2 games in very late in the season. Their first meeting just a few weeks ago, back in Week 15. And it was the visitors getting the win. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Teron Johnson able to pick it. And he is going to score. It's a pick-6 and a Bills touchdown. Well, they were advancing the ball. They had a couple first downs under their belt, but a big mistake there on the opening drive leads to 6 points the other direction.
And what a good read that was on his part, Brandon, because it prevents a possible scoring drive with how they were moving things along. And it gives the defense the early advantage of what's going to be a definitely entertaining battle between these units.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick-6, and now the kick is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Back on the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him over 3,000 yards passing now on the campaign.
And Brandon, nowadays your leader's usually closer to 5,000 yards on the year, but still, 3,000 yards, a good season.
And he'll be taken down at about the 45.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. He was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Ball again on 2nd down. And only a couple there as he'll take this up to the 47.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Teron Johnson able to pick it. And the Bills are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
So good field position for the Bills as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. So after the INT, it's Allen. Going deep for Diggs. And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in. Miles Sanders, first carry of the game. And some room to maneuver. Shoves him away. And he will finally be taken down at the Jets' 22. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. And not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Right back to Sanders on 1st down. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Allen. His throw caught at about the 5. Touchdown, Bills. Gabriel Davis with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Bills go up by 2 touchdowns. Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it ends with a touchdown pass to Gabriel Davis. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Jets offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. He'll look to throw. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. 25 yards that time.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed 1st down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
The throw over the middle taken in. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. It's another 1st down as they bite off 23 more on that one. They're going to look to throw. He finds his target, Beckham. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that, because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. Paul on a give up the middle. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Paul again on 2nd down. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll set up to throw. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now from MetLife Stadium. The Jets with the football here as they come up now 2nd and goal. On 2nd down, a run with Hall. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. They'll set up a throw. They'll set up the screen for Hall. Oh, good move. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. They do get 8 out of the pitch and catch. However, it's 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long, because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he gets the 1st down.
So a conservative decision there, but it does put him on the board.
And I know the players hate it and the coaches hate it, but sometimes you just got to take the points when they're there. Sometimes a field goal is pretty darn good.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. So here come the Bills out for their 2nd drive. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend. But you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we could walk away with a win.
Tackle on that play by Quinton Williams.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
From the 27, Allen working the middle here. That's complete to Knox, the tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Allen and Knox teaming up there for Buffalo 1st down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
And they'll send the tight end in motion left. On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. 46 yards rushing for him now to this point. The Bills at 8-7, a game over 500 on the year. They were losers their last time out. Trying to get back in the win column, but obviously not an easy task here in a hostile environment.
Yeah, always tough to win away from home. But sometimes what you do is you use these types of games as bonding experiences and carry that into the contest.
And that is caught. It's Davis. And that's going to be another 1st down as the tackle made at the Jets' 37. 15 yards that time, and a Buffalo 1st.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there, because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Up the middle they go with Sanders. And he's got some space here. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a 1st down. I thought he had the angle along that sideline. Didn't quite get there, though.
Didn't quite get there, but they did keep him from getting into the end zone. Now when you look down and line up on defense, you see the goal line beneath your feet. If that doesn't move...
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Buffalo. Miles Sanders with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Elliott now to add the extra point. And it's 21-3. So that drive, 6 plays, 75 yards. And it was Miles Sanders who finished it off with a touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Jets ready to get going again here on offense. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. The ball comes out. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And he is all the way up past the 25. And in this very cold night air, how much harder, Charles, is it to hang on to that football?
It's a lot harder, and I know for the most part we think about a ball being slick when there's rain or snow, any type of moisture. But when it's cold and dry like this, and it is cold, it's also slick that way because you're not able to really grip it the same way. Your hands are cold, and then the hits seem harder. So, yeah, it's a lot more difficult to hold on to the football, which means you have to emphasize it that much more.
Wind chills right now, 12 degrees. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme, and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth.
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. 70th catch for him on the year, and like so many others, this goes for a first down. Allen gonna throw. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. And even 100 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the 2nd quarter.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. A quick throw going to be caught by Diggs. Touchdown! Stephon Diggs with career touchdown number 75. And the Bills are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Elliott good with a PAT. And the route is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. New York ready to go again offensively.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
So the penalty declined, and they will keep the yardage on the completion.
And you can almost see him compartmentalize there throughout the route. Fought hard into line of scrimmage, a lot of hand checking throughout the route. Great job staying focused on the football and pulling it in through the contact.
The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. The previous run good for 9. Here's second and a yard. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
Taking in left side, it's Wilson.
Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. He'll drop to throw. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham.
And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. It's Hall. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. He made his first attempt, this from 45. Fairbairn able to put this one through, and they're back within 3 scores as it's now a 22-point game. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive.
And you wonder if with Allen's arm, they might just take their chances by dialing up a long one.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout.
Let's go, baby.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. A final shot before half for Allen. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. So we've come upon...
All right, we'll bypass the halftime show in favor of returning to this late season game with the teams coming back from the locker rooms here a bit early.
Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon.
And the half will begin with a touchback.
Out come the Bills as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
You're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadruple. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 27 yards there, a first down. And a nice milestone reached on that last throw is here late in the season. He goes over 4,000 yards passing.
And he's really thrown the ball well all season long. Had some big games along the way. He's inspired his receiving corps to go out and make plays for him in each and every ball game.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on second down and 11. Allen. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. He's trying to protect his quarterback's blind side. Got napped for the hole.
You have one job over there. Make sure that man does not get hit. So if you have to hold occasionally, do so, because they don't catch all of them. This time they did.
They'll come up now on a second and long after the hold. Now it's Hines. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Throwing is Allen on third. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up fourth down.
Coverage was awfully tight there on third down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up fourth down.
Allen will look to throw for it on fourth. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. Here's Hines. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. On play action, Allen. And he's got his tight end Knox for a Bills touchdown. A great play there. 27 yards. As his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Elliott good on the extra point, and that'll push the lead up to 29 now. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. So here's the Jets offense now as they get ready for their first possession of the second half.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
They find some open field here, and they're able to get this one across the 35.
66 yards rushing for him here as he starts to close in now on 1,200 yards for the season. They'll go again with Hall.
And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Straight ahead is Hall.
Only a yard on the pickup, so from a good situation on 2nd and 2, it's now 3rd and long.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for it in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
They'll run with Hall.
And some space here.
And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line.
A Jet first down, 18 big yards that time. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting third down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up.
And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down.
Carlos Basham in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive.
On 3rd down, here's Hall.
They juked him. 9 yards on the carry. That's going to lead to a 4th down.
Nobody asked to admit this, a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
The kick by Fairbairn is good, and they knock that deficit down from 29 to 26. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s, and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear. They want to close this gap.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here.
The long drive last time out for this offense, Charles, if you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now, but let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
11 yards and a Buffalo 1st down. One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. Oh, this is going to be caught along the sidelines. Probably shouldn't have been caught. He's going to lose yardage there.
The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. On play action, Allen. He's got his target. It's the tight end Knox. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So in jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Draw play. This is Hines. And they go backwards here. Losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up. To the air, Allen. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was open.
Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Bills. Stephon Diggs. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Bills look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Elliott good with a PAT. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The New York set to take the field. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
That's a gain of 4 as we slip inside of 4 minutes left in regulation. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And I think the ball's out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. On 1st and 10, it's Carter. Give him 19 there as the drive marches forward. So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 39-yard line. Back to throw here. Throw left side complete. That's Wilson. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. 2nd and 4. Going right back to Wilson. And they'll work this down inside the 30. Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. Now back to throw. Over the middle to Beckham. And he is going to have a Jets first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone,
and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Wide open receiver complete. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And that trims the lead a bit, but still standing at 26 points. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
This one fielded at the 5. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Buffalo offense back out ready to go. They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
It certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
Second down, back to Sanders.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
3rd down, here's a run by Cook.
And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. The Bills send the punter out. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the fourth quarter. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. A big kick, 50 yards that time with a return of 4. And control of the football, switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
And check down, complete to Hall.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. They'll look to throw here on first down.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
And now here comes their final timeout as they take it with 8 ticks remaining. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass on 2nd down leads us to 3rd and inches. One final shot. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it go again. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And they move this all the way down to the 9.
And as this defense walks off the field,